English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Bonjour à tous ceux qui nous écoutent aujourd'hui en Radio Grand Lac 92.1 et bienvenue à l'émission Your English Weekly. Je suis Sinead, votre chroniqueuse d'anglais et bienvenue à la saison 3 avec Tim. Hi Tim.
Hi Sinead.
L'objectif de cette émission est stimuler la langue anglaise et compréhension orale. Pour la saison 3, nous avons mis en place une conversation avec Tim toutes les semaines. Tim est en train de visiter la France et il va nous faire découvrir chaque semaine une petite ville ou un village charmant. Aujourd'hui, c'est le Antibes. C'est ça, Tim?
Yes, that's correct.
Good. Vous pouvez trouver Tim autour du Café et Conversation, animé tous les vendredis matins de 8h30 à 9h30 à Your English Workshop. Pour les infos de la semaine de Your English Workshop, si vous souhaitez pour vos enfants retrouver des stages, cette semaine, nous avons mis en place des stages pendant les vacances scolaires. Donc, regardez notre site web pour ça. Cette émission est aujourd'hui sponsorisée par Your English Workshop, qui est un centre de formation pour l'apprentissage de l'anglais pour les adultes et les enfants certifiés Calliope. Restez à l'écoute dans les 15 prochaines minutes pour que Tim, qui va nous expliquer aujourd'hui les Antibes. Cette semaine, votre leçon est de niveau B2. Hi and welcome back to Your English Weekly Season 3. If you need today's script or today's talk or the lesson, click on our website, Your English Weekly. Our lesson today is B2. Hi Tim.
Hi Sinead.
So how are you today, Tim?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. So, Tim, I think you've prepared an expression for us today. Is that right?
That is right. It is a blessing in disguise.
So what is a blessing in disguise? Could you give us an example?
Yeah, sure. For example, if I missed the plane, I could say it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I got to spend more time with my family.
Okay, so something that appears bad at first and ends up having a good result. Is that possibility for our expression today?
That's exactly that, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So where are we going to visit this week, Tim?
We're heading off to Antibes this week.
Ooh, where's Antibes?
Antibes is in the south of France on the Côte d'Azur.
Ooh, sounds beautiful. So what are you going to tell us about Antibes today?
I'm going to talk about the town and to give you some of my favourite places I visited.
Okay, so you visited Antibes. So how would you describe Antibes?
Antibes I would describe as a picturesque town.
Okay.
It's nestled between Nice and Cannes.
Mm-hmm.
And it holds its own for being the second largest town on the Côte d'Azur.
Okay, so that's hold its own. So what does that mean, hold its own?
It means that it's a strong competitor for its size.
Okay, so that's some of the words we're going to hear today. So hold its own, say tiens bon. What other words are we going to hear today, Tim?
We're going to hear enticing.
Which means attrayante.
Enchanting.
Which means ravissant.
Inaugurated.
Inauguré.
Moored.
Ooh, that's a very boaty word, isn't it? It's a word that we use for the boats. Amarré.
Birth.
Okay, so birth, if I'm not mistaken, because we checked earlier, it's got two meanings. It's got the meaning to sleep on a boat in a berth. Mm-hmm. And you've also got the mouillage, c'est ça?
Yes.
Donc, soit on dort dans une cabine,
yes,
which is called the berth, or no, mouillage, c'est ça?
That's right. And there's yes. We have bolstered.
Okay, bolstered. That's like renforcé.
Yes. We have the Greek Acropolis.
Donc, l'acropolis.
Gobsmacked.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's an expression, listeners. That's an expression when you're gobsmacked. C'est bouche bée.
Total number.
Okay, well, same in French. Hein? Nombre total.
Congested.
Ok, donc c'est une zone qui est très encombrée.
Peak season.
Ah, la saison haute.
And that's spacious.
Ah, spacious. Donc, roomy or spacious, same in French, spacieux. Et se faire plaisir, je crois aussi. Treat?
Treat, yes, that's true. Treat. Sorry.
Thank you. No problem. Yeah. Okay, so you told us that we're going to visit there. So why did you go to Antibes?
Well, I've been to Antibes a few times in my life. The first time was when I was working in Cannes in a hotel, and Antibes was very close by, and my girlfriend was working in a hotel there. The second time I was working in Cannes for a company that constructed stalls that was being used at the Palais de Festival. And I would go there and drink and eat out sometimes. And another time I went there was just for a long weekend.
Okay, so what is there to see in Antibes?
Well, to start with, it's a very beautiful town, and there's lots of historical monuments there. It entices you to walk around the narrow cobbled streets as they are so enchanting. You feel there's a discovery to be made on every corner. There are plenty of shops offering artisanal crafts and some great clothes boutiques selling designer clothes. There are also a lot of soap shops selling fragrant soaps, lavender scented, typical from Provence. There are lots of good restaurants in town too, and as the competition is high, the standards of food are at a good level, but then so are the prices. You can find reasonable menus rather than going for the pricey à la carte. There are good bars as well in town, which attracts people from around the area for the nightlife too. There is a market there which is worth visiting on Saturday morning, which has plenty of stalls selling Provençal delicacies, such as tomato or anchovies tarts, lovely olive tapenades and fresh ratatouilles. Make sure to take advantage of the free tasters on offer.
Okay, the free tasters, nice.
Very nice.
You can taste the food for no price at all.
Yes, they're trying to entice you to buy their products. There are great beaches in Antibes too, and one I frequented was called the Plage de la Gravette, which is a horseshoe-shaped stretch of sand located just below Antibes' medieval castle. Right in the middle of the old town, this public beach is perfect for a quick swim as well while exploring Antibes. A visit to the Picasso Museum is a must. This was built actually on the original Greek Acropolis, and the first few metres of the walls are actually Roman. In 1946, Picasso was invited by the city to use the newly restored castle as a studio, and he obliged, completing several works here that summer. Another thing to do, I'd recommend, is to walk around Port Vauban and be gobsmacked by the total number of mega yachts there, which actually rival cruise liners and makes them look small by comparison. Also, can you believe the rates for a berth there are well more than €1 million?
Ooh, that is expensive.
And the extraordinary tonnage of the craft moored here makes Port Vauban the largest marina in the Mediterranean. Fort Carré, which guards the northern point of the port, is worth a visit. It's a fortress that Vauban bolstered in the 1680s as part of his defensive plan for Antibes. It's on the Saint-Roch Peninsula in 4 hectares of parkland, and it has an elevated position 26 metres above the water.
Okay, well, that sounds just fantastic. And is it a big place, Antibes?
It's fairly big. It has a population of 75,000.
Okay.
That was taken back in 2014, so it was
10 years ago,
10
nearly.
years, so it had grown by that since then. And the area is around 27 kilometres squared. It's actually 26.48 kilometres squared.
Okay. And what about getting around Antibes? Is there good public transport? Do we bike? Do we take or use the scooters? Is it congestioned? Tell us a little bit about how to get around Antibes.
I suggest using the train if you want to move between towns, and then going by foot or bike. Car parks are expensive and the roads are heavily congested.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. A bit like Saint-Tropez, no?
Yeah, indeed. All along that road, Côte d'Azur, it gets really congested in the summer. Otherwise, it's not worth, because it'll take a long time to go a short distance.
So in the peak season, it's better to do everything by foot or scooter, maybe.
Scooter, bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But avoid cars, really.
Yeah. So, and the distances between one place and the other are quite short?
Yes, they are, but they take equally in the car, they'll take a long time.
Okay. And what about restaurant or about foods? Tell us a little bit about food.
It's difficult to pick my favourite restaurant, as there's a lot of good choice. I went to one called the Le Comptoir de la Tourac as a treat when I was there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You can choose a la carte or a customisable 3-course meal. True French cuisine, and it's such a gem of a place.
Oh, a gem of a place. That's a nice expression as well. It's a treasure.
Yes.
Okay. So that's for the food side. I presume it's easy to get food as well.
Oh, yes.
On the road, people are selling hot dogs or
pizzas,
burgers.
lots of pizza places. Look, everything is good variety.
Good variety of food.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, that's for sure.
And what about accommodation? What can we say about accommodation?
Again, it's competitive there. I stayed in a hotel Le Collier, which was in a good location, only a few minutes from the train station. The hotel was modern and roomy, and the bedrooms are very comfortable. There's a lot of places to stay in Antibes, catering for all budgets. But to be you should definitely reserve in advance. It's a popular place to go.
Okay. And what about camping? Are there campsites around?
Yes, there's campsites around. You're just further out of town. Okay.
So tell us some interesting facts about Antibes. I'm sure there must be a few facts we should know.
Well, there is indeed. The Antibes was originally Antiopolis, which was a Greek trading port established by the Phoenicians from Marseille.
Okay, that is interesting, yeah?
I also learnt that the Marché Provençal, which is in the centre of Antibes, was voted as one of the most beautiful markets in the world recently.
Oh, really? Okay,
yes.
Nice.
And it's really
so that's a must to do as well. And that's on a Saturday morning?
Yes, it's very beautiful. It might be on other days in the week too, but Saturday it's open.
Saturday is a big day.
And there's a commune, Libre de Safranière. It's a tiny community at the western end of Old Antibes that is independent of the town, and it even elects its own mayor, councillors, and has its own event committee.
Okay, so let's have the quiz.
Okay.
So give our listeners their quiz, and they can check the answers on Your English Weekly on the website of Your English Workshop.
Okay. The first question, what is the name of the port in Antibes?
Okay. Question number 2.
What delicacy might you find in the market in Antibes?
Number 3.
What scent did I mention the soaps had?
Ooh, yeah, exactly. Number 4.
Antibes is nestled between which 2 big towns?
Okay. So, listeners, you can go back for that. And don't forget, our expression of the week this week was a blessing in disguise. So, Tim, what did we say a blessing in disguise was? It's something that appears to be...
Well, it could appear to be bad, but works out for the best.
So there we are. Well, listeners, that's all we have today from Your English Weekly. So thank you for listening to today's podcast. Thank you, Tim, for telling us about... Antibes, yeah. And don't forget, listeners, to consult our website for our stages for children during the next holidays. And, of course, you can find the script on the website too. And don't forget to stay listening. Donc, restez à l'écoute pour les programmes aujourd'hui ici à Radio Grand Lac. Donc, il y a à 13h le Tendance d'écho avec Jessica. À 14h15 avec le jeu de mouvement avec Joe. 17h, une commune Grésy-sur-Aix avec Jean-Pierre, very good. Et puis, bien sûr, c'est bientôt l'apéro avec Sylvain à 18h15. Well, listeners, that's all for today. Bye to you from us at you.
Your English Weekly. Your English Weekly. La chronique 100% en anglais de Radio Grand Lac avec Sinead.
Radio Grand Lac.